to share the stories of horror and survival that took place that day. Maya Parizer is a survivor of the Hamas attack on the Nova Music Festival in Reem. She joins us from Israel. Avery Stern is a recent college graduate who's been working to bring Maya and other survivors to college campuses across the United States. And Maya, let me just start with you. We're so sorry for everything that you've been through. 1 month has now passed since that attack. I'm sure there is not a day that goes by where you do not think about it. But after 1 month, what do you remember most? What haunts you most?
First of all, thank you for having me. It's been a nightmare of reliving the situation since what happened on October 7th. In the U.S., I actually flew for only 5 days in an intent to speak to congressmen and senators throughout the U.S. And because of what I've seen in the campuses, I'm a recent graduate myself from Ben-Gurion University here in Beersheba, and I just had to do something because it pains me to see that students just support one side without even understanding that this was not, an attack, or what you can say, people were not just killed, People went to have fun in a rave, just like, Coachella or all sorts of festivals in the U.S., and they not only died, they were butchered and massacred. And to see all of that horror through channel on the Telegram channels of Hamas terrorists and civilians just broke my heart every time, because there's no other way, for a family to really cope with the loss of their kids. They don't need to see the brutality in its way. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, I wish I can say, it's better. I wish I can say, I'm focusing on the war right now that is happening, but I can't really seem to put aside October 7th. October 7th has nothing to do with the war that's happening right now. It was just an excuse to brutally massacre civilians just like myself. And it really changed my life, because I can't go back to normal knowing that my friends are now in Gaza, or that I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to them because they only want to have fun in a party. And that is something that needs to be said loud and clear. Don't make this political. It's not about what's happening right now. I feel very sorry for both Israeli and Palestinian lives that are being taken. But what happened to us on October 7th, this is something that happened by its own. This was just an excuse for barbaric people to slaughter the Jewish people. And it pains me to see right now that people are justifying it. And that's why I'm coming back to the States, because I can't sit around here and feel like helpless. People need to understand that you have to separate what happens now, which is a war, and what happened on October 7th, which was an attack that just slaughtered many of my friends who are, just like myself, just went to have fun at a party.
Avery, you've been organizing events on college campuses, bringing Maya and others to tell their story. Why?
I think that what's happening in Israel is so horrible and almost unbelievable, but it's almost happening here now too. There's a war in America, and it's on college campuses, and people are dying for saying what they believe. And it's scary to see that the Holocaust, which I learned about in textbooks in school and that I learned about from my grandparents, it feels like I'm reliving experiences that they said they lived when they were younger. And it's really scary to see, and I think kids feel really hopeless on college campuses especially. I read a crazy statistic that 48% of individuals from the age 18 to 24 support Hamas. And I think that it's kind of the age range where people feel hopeless, and I think it's important to bring people like Maya to hear real stories, to hear what she went through, and I think it brings the community closer.
Maya, you survived a terror attack 1 month ago. You had people killed all around you. Again, just 1 month ago, yet today you are witnessing an alarming rise in anti-Semitism since the terror attack, in the United States and around the world. How do you explain that, and how does it make you feel?
First, it makes me feel scared, because everyone said during the Holocaust days, never again. And just like Avery said, we feel it right now arising. And when it started in the Holocaust, people were like, don't worry, let's be silent, it will pass away. Jews are being picked, but it's not, anti-Semitism. It's just, they were kind of annoying. They deserve it or whatever. But this is not okay. To single out people just because of their race or religious is wrong. And people are saying that, loudly when it comes to being Islamic, when it comes to being African American, when it comes to being, Asian. Why is it different when it's about being Jewish? Why can't I'm also an American citizen. Why can't I walk safely in my homeland? Why do I have to be scared? I was just speaking in Maryland University. I think it was Saturday night when one of my friends ran away crying, and we thought at first it was by hearing my story, but what happened in Cornell was a student sending 15 threats to Jewish people, and it made a lot of people, be scared in their home, which is something I can relate because I was, being locked in a home of not even myself, of some strangers in the Gaza Strip that are now, I'm close to, but I didn't know them, and I had to stay there for 24 hours just waiting for my turn to die. And to hear that it's happening in the U.S., to hear that students who are supposed to be the next generation of leaders, why are you so quick when it comes to the Jewish people? I don't want to ask you to just, take my word and treat it as whatever, but, study. It doesn't make sense that people justify slaughter of a genocide by protecting another. We should condemn all sorts of terror. We should condemn all sorts of violence. And when people kidnap in 2023, people should wake up to see, would I be okay if my kids, are taken by some idea or losing their body parts or being filmed and joyfully paraded through the channels of the Telegram? This is something that's wrong. It should be separated, because a way to resolve a conflict is not by creating another. And if people really condemn terror and see Israel as, I don't even want to say, it's why can't you see it on the other side? Why do we have to suffer and continue to defend ourselves after going through what I've been in October 7th? Many of my friends did not have the same luck as I had when I was just meeting the terrorists and managing to escape. Many of my friends were raped, abused, killed, and not by just a shot. They were really butchered, and we can see all of that proof, but for some reason, people are like, oh, I don't believe that. And it's I don't want to believe that as well. I wish this was all a big dream. I wish I didn't have to dance and stop and suddenly run for my life, but it happened. And to hear that people are saying, oh, it's not real, or they deserve it, let's, clean ethnicity of Jewish people. What is wrong with you? This is 2023. People need to condemn violence. People cannot solve one nation saving by killing another. I did nothing wrong when I decided to go to dance at a rave party, and this should be said out there. None of the people that were killed or kidnapped were soldiers at the time. They were just civilians. They were either asleep in their homes or dancing at a party. This is not something people can just, move to the next story and be like, oh, today what happens in Gaza? I'm sorry. But in World War II, people were not like, oh, look at this poor civilian German. When people are attacked, people have to respond. Israel needs to respond for the fact that 1,400 people were slaughtered that day. This is comparing to the size of Israel. That is such a great amount of people. And the fact that 240 are kidnapped,
Maya Parizer, I appreciate you being with us. I appreciate your bravery and courage in speaking out, not just at your home, but also here in the United States. And Avery, we appreciate you being with us.
Thank you for having us.
And bringing this story.
And letting us tell you Maya's story.
Thank you so much, Avery.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.